What's going on with Elon Musk, Tesla, and why has the world seemed to be turning on one of the most iconic entrepreneurs of our time? What does the Bible have to say about all of this? And how does this affect you and your business today? Let's talk about it. Elon Musk has been hailed as like a modern day Thomas Edison, right? He gave us PayPal. He made electric cars cool with Tesla. He launched rockets with SpaceX and even started tunneling under the earth with the Boring Company. People were inspired by his audacity. He took industries that seemed impossible to penetrate and just, disrupted them. Musk wasn't, and I mean he was not, afraid to go against the grain. He bet his entire PayPal fortune on Tesla and SpaceX. He once said he was sleeping on his friends' couches just to keep those companies alive. I mean, that kind of grit and vision made him into this global icon that everyone looked up to. But here's the thing. Glory days aren't just about innovation. They are also about influence, character, and how you treat people. And that's where things are starting to crack. Listen, Elon's hiring and firing style has always been intense. This is not new, y'all. Stories from his former employees say working at Tesla or SpaceX was like being on a battlefield. High expectations, long hours, and sudden firings. He once said, if someone is exceptional, I don't care if they graduated from high school. But at the same time, he's known to fire people on the spot during meetings. He rewards brilliance, but often at the expense of morale. This is not new. This is who he is. And while that approach worked during the build-up phase, it's now starting to show real fractures. Like top engineers have walked away. Entire teams have turned over. There's a culture of burnout and fear, and it's not loyalty and it's not mission-based. Just to tell you, like one story that really shook a lot of people came out during the massive Twitter layoffs, or what Elon now calls X. So within just days of taking over the company, Musk fired nearly half of Twitter's workforce. And it wasn't done with strategy or sensitivity. At least that's not what it looked like for the rest of us. Employees found out they were fired when they were suddenly locked out of their emails. No personal message, no warning sign, just poof, gone. Even people who were on parental leave, medical leave, or had critical roles, gone. Entire departments were wiped out overnight, including teams responsible for ethics, accessibility, and platform safety. Done. And here's the kicker. When some employees tried to raise concerns or offer suggestions, Musk reportedly told managers, hear it, y'all. This is not a democracy. You do what I say or you're out. Now, sure, you could say he was trying to cut costs. Right. Move fast or even shake things up. But that kind of brutality in leadership doesn't look good for someone's character. Let's just be honest. It sends the message not just to Twitter employees, but to the world. I care about the mission, but not necessarily the people. And pretty much, if you don't align with his mission, now you're just mad all around. That's when people started to question, does Musk value people at all or just productivity? Now, he has come and you see the same behavior in government. Huge layoffs, departments being shut down, all in the name of efficiency. Should we be in shock? I mean, why should we? He is consistent. In recent months, we've seen protests erupt across the globe, not just from environmentalists or labor unions, but from everyday people who once cheered for Elon Musk, who once revered his business style. So what's fueling this anger? Sure, it is some of Tesla's decisions on layoffs, union busting, accusations, or how autopilot crashes are being handled. But let's be honest. Most people are angry because of Elon Musk's character, his traits, the way he is, his harshness, the tweets, the misinformation, the erratic behavior on podcasts and interviews, the alignment with extreme views, the open mocking of critics. People feel betrayed, not just by the brand, but by the man they once respected. And this is the lesson for all of us as business leaders. Your character is your currency. When that falls apart, everything around you gets shaky too. We cannot believe that just because we have innovative greatness, that our character and who we are as a person doesn't matter. As much as I am a huge fan on company efficiency, how you treat people is key. There's a story in 1 Kings chapter 12 verses 1 through 19 and 2 Chronicles 10 that illustrates this beautifully. So after King Solomon died, Rahoboam took the throne. The people of Israel came to him and basically said, look, your father worked us hard. If you lighten our load, we'll serve you faithfully. Now that's not a lot of things we like to hear as business owners, because our thing is, you don't want to work. You came here to work. I'm paying you to work. You don't want to work. And now you're talking about lighten your load. I get it. We tend to feel like, are we getting all the value that we're paying for? We're very like, how much work did you get over these amount of hours? We're very much like this as business owners. I get it. However, I want us to just take heed real quick, pump your brakes. Let us hear the rest of the matter. So what did Rahoboam do? First, he went to the older, wiser counselors, the men who had served his father. They told him, if you serve these people well and speak kindly to them, they'll be loyal to you forever. But then Rahoboam went to his younger friends, the ones he grew up with, and asked them what they thought. And they were like, Now, you need to show them who's boss. Tell them my little finger is thicker than my father's waist. You thought he was tough? I'm going to make it even harder for you. His pinky, his father's waist though, that's a bit tough. That's rough around the edges, wouldn't you say? Unfortunately, Rahoboam listened to the younger crowd. He rejected the wisdom of the elders. He doubled down on arrogance. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. You need to stay tuned, because what does that have to do with you as a business owner? Oh, we're going to talk about it. And the people rebelled. Similarly to what is happening today in Musk's situation. People didn't rebel too much when he was dealing with his companies per se. But now that he's in the government, the rebellion has quadrupled, okay? Like, folk are upset. So in Rehoboam's case, 10 tribes walked away. The kingdom split. He lost the majority of his leadership in a single moment. Not because of war, not because of enemies, but because of how he treated his own people. Let that sink in. Many business owners, even those that profess to be followers of Christ, have adopted many of Musk's harsh ways in handling their people. If you are in business long enough, you will have to make layoffs. It just is inevitable. You will have to do cutbacks. It's part of the plan. You will have to make your business more efficient. You will have to make very difficult decisions. It's just part of the package. However, there is a way to accomplish all of that and still show the love of Christ. I know you're asking me how. Well, let's first talk about checking your ego. Listen, yes, you have built your company to what it is today. All right? Yes, you are brilliant in your space. God has given you passion, drive, intellect, giftings in order for you to build out your business empire, okay, if you will. But literally, we have to check our ego at the door. When you treat people like they are disposable, they are going to leave. They may not do it with like swords like in Rehoboam's day, but they will walk away from your brand, from your mission, and from your leadership. They don't got time for that. And let me tell you why. Because God never intended for people to be forced into submission. We all have free will built into us. And sooner or later, that will kick in. And you say, well, Kawana, how do you go about firing people without being mean? I mean, let me tell you, it starts with your character. You don't have to be mean about letting people go. If you have to let people go and take the company in a new direction, you don't have to treat people like they didn't help you get where you are today. Because we all know that you cannot build an empire, you cannot build a business, you cannot do any of these things by yourself. So these people who you may have to let go for your next season helped you get there. There are ways you can handle it. Now, I understand. I totally understand that nowadays people want to sue you for any and everything. I get that. But that does not mean we cannot be kind about the changes that we are making. I remember I was working with a company. They had a contract with a municipality. And it seemed as though in order to let us go, the municipality was trying to find reasons, like something we did wrong, so it could justify them laying us off, and they could find nothing. It's like that story with Daniel, where the other princes and other people in power wanted to find a problem with Daniel so that they can get rid of him. And they could not. So they just created something. They made the king create this edict. If anyone bows down to anything besides me or any god besides me, they're getting thrown in the lion's den. They literally had to make up something because they couldn't find something against Daniel's character. They couldn't find something against how Daniel worked. And people tend to do that. It's I have to let this person go or we have to make cutbacks. So in order to do that effectively, I must find something wrong about them. Why? Why can't we just say, listen, you have served us well. You have brought us to where we are today. However, what you bring to the table is not what we need in order to get us in this direction. I will give you a recommendation. We'll help you find placement somewhere else where you can take these same gifts that you blessed us with and bless someone else with. Because let me tell you, you are phenomenal. What's stopping us from that? And let's say, Kawana, I can't say those things because I don't want to be sued and, the legal department and what I can or cannot say. Okay, fine. Then kindly just say our company is going in a different direction. And to do that, we need to pivot from the road that we are on. And so we thank you for your service, but we can no longer continue a working relationship. But if you need any recommendations, if you need anything like that, we're free. Let us know. We will help as much as we can. Why do we have to find something wrong with the person and let them go? Now, that's not to say that there aren't people that we do need to let go because they are not living up to why we hired them, or we don't have to hold people accountable in our company. All I'm saying, though, is at least let people understand that you care about them as a person, period. Ask yourself, do you care for the person? At the end of the day, do we put things and assets, because businesses are assets, do we put assets over people? Do we treat them as just disposable plastic forks, knives, and spoons to be used and thrown away? And that's what Elon is giving. That's what he's giving. So it doesn't matter what good he does as far as making his businesses efficient so that they can scale to the billions, right? It doesn't matter what good he's even doing in the government to make things more efficient and save taxpayer dollars or whatever it is. It doesn't matter when people don't believe that you care for them. Here's another story in scripture. When you look at Joseph and his situation, when it came time to people coming and getting food during the famine, listen what Joseph said. Joseph said, sell me your land, your oxen, He pretty much took everything away from the people, put them in cities. Pharaoh owned everything. And guess what? The people gladly gave it up. Why? Because in their mind, Joseph was saving them. Joseph was saving the kingdom. He was saving them. He was feeding them during the famine. Why? Because he at least helped people to understand that he cared about people. And that's why I think that honestly, at the end of it, what people are really upset with Elon is his character flaws and how he treats people. And that is his billion-dollar mistake, not treating people with value. So I don't want you to make the same mistake, because believe it or not, you can make the same mistake as a small business owner and continue to make that mistake as a big business owner. Please do not allow the pressures of owning a company, the pressures of scaling your business to take away or desensitize you from the fact that business thrives on relationships, and that we must value the people that come into our spaces to help our business grow, whether they're here for a season or a lifetime. We must value them, and we must be able to show kindness and love even in difficult times, even when we have to make a difficult decision. So what do you think? Is Elon Musk in his Rahoboam season, or do you think he'll turn things around? And as leaders, are there areas in our own lives where we're building like Rahoboam instead of leading like the way Christ would have us? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Does this hit you in a certain way? Do you know of a fellow entrepreneur or leader that tends to have these type of tactics and things? Remember, build with character, not just charisma. And I will see you in the next video.